this. So welcome everybody to our spring 2024 bug user group kickoff meeting. And so it's good to see all of you here. We've got some new faces in here. We've got some of our leaders in here. And so we'll take a little bit of time just to introduce folks to the group here. And so we typically have a smaller, more intimate group, not like 100 people that come in here. And it's really nice because these speaker series really give those of you that really want to learn an opportunity to ask questions and to learn more about Bluebeam and get to know our industry in a more intimate setting. And so we just are very happy that those of you that came tonight are here. Just a reminder, keep yourself on mute. If you have a question, you can take yourself off and ask a question. Don't hesitate to barge in and interrupt us if or if there's a lull, you can ask us anything or put it in the chat. We've got a moderator, Luis here, Vila, that's going to be moderating the chat. So just a reminder for that. Also, we have a few people that don't have their web cameras on. So please be sure to put your web camera on. Also, if you are in here for a class, make sure to put your name in the chat and the class that you're here for. And you might have an opportunity to get extra credit. I know my class, I'm giving extra credit for those of you that come. Okay. So welcome everybody. Let's do a few introductions here. We'll start with our industry partners. So Cary, why don't you introduce yourself just really quick?
Sure. Thanks, Christy. My name is Cary Reents. I work with at QUIRING General, located in Fresno, California, as well as the Bay Area. I've been there for about almost 9 years now, I think. I got lost track. Been in the industry for probably close to 13 to 14 years. Yeah, senior project manager, and I'll be presenting on a handful of things tonight. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Cary, and it's good to have you here and opening our kickoff here tonight. So thanks so much for volunteering. And RJ, RJ is RJ's coming back from Las Vegas. We're good, but we're gonna have he's in the car. You're making a bad example, RJ.
Well, I'm sitting in the parking lot called the 405 freeway. So
oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's safe. It's safe. I'll take myself off video, but just wanted to introduce. Yeah. So RJ Palace, digital technology senior manager over at AECOM Hunt. Been with Hunt for almost 2 years. I got connected with Christy and this group through Sophie to do some presentations on digital dashboards. So that's how I got connected to this group. It's a fun group. As far as my experience goes, maybe 18, almost 19 years in the industry as on the design side. So I did a lot of electrical engineering on design, and then I switched over to construction about 5 years ago. Just so I can kind of get a full spectrum of what the whole life cycle of a project is. So I've been enjoying being in construction and implementing technology out in the field for our teams. We're sort of in the crossroads of technology and how we can use technology, hopefully to make things more efficient for our projects. Either in the office or in the field. So that's sort of my role with AECOM.
Awesome. Well, good to have you, RJ. And
thank you.
We really appreciate our industry partners. And I also wanted to mention that RJ is, and I don't remember the exact name, but I want to say he is the like champion of the OC.
Oh. Yeah, so the Orange County Bluebeam user group, which connects industry professionals local to a region here in Southern California. So I'm leading that this year. Got the opportunity to lead it. Yeah, so hopefully I can use some of those industry connections to hopefully get this group some more speakers as needed. So So
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be awesome, RJ. And I know I used to live down in Orange County, and so there's a lot of great talent down there professionally. And so that's just a really great kind of link that we've got down to Southern California. So it's good to have RJ here. Let's do just a couple or take a couple minutes and just to have maybe some of the leaders introduce themselves. So I'm going to start off with Matt because he's going to be doing a little quick demo here for you guys, some of you that are new. So Matt, why don't you just do a quick introduction when you're going to be graduating and just say hi.
Hey everyone, Matt Forney. I'm a senior, graduating this spring.
Hi, Matt. Good to have you here. And Luis is also helping me moderate here. So Luis, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Luis Villa. I am a senior and I'll be graduating in the summer.
Good to have you here, Luis. And Tomas, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tomas Mata and I am graduating this May. Hope everyone has a fun night.
Yeah, and Tomas is very involved with some of the clubs, the social clubs, and so is Luis. And Tomas is the SIC president. And so if you're interested in getting involved in golf or the banquet or anything like that, make sure that you talk to Tomas or Luis here. And let's just see, JL, why don't you introduce yourself? You're one of the new leaders.
Hello everyone, my name is Jael Lopez. Just call me Jay for short, and I'll be graduating spring of 2025.
Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you, Jay. And Karndeep, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Karndeep Minhas and I'm a senior here at Fresno State and I'll be graduating in May.
Great, and thanks so much, Karndeep. Karndeep helps us sometimes with the flyers, and so it's good to have him here. And Manny, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Manny Verde. And I'll be graduating in May as well, and I'm also looking forward to that golf tournament that Luis and Tomas can eventually put it on.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun. So good, good. And Avantika, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, I'm Avantika and I'm a graduate student of construction management department and this is my second semester here.
Yeah, and Avantika is one of our new leaders. And so thanks for coming, Avantika. And Prem, we want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. This is Prem Raj, and I am also a graduate student, and I'll be graduating in May of 2025.
Yeah, awesome. And Prem today was in a meeting. We're working on getting Bluebeam training for those of you that are interested in the spring here. And so he and Hemant were in a meeting here today working on that with me. And so Hemant, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, this is Hemant and I am pursuing my master's in construction management. I'm in second semester now.
Great.
Nice
Good
to
to
meet
have you
you,
here.
Cary.
Thanks, Hemant. And let's see, Satyaja, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, myself Satyajya Otakuti. I'm a grad student here and this is my second semester and I will be graduating in the year 2020-25 May. Thank you.
Awesome, Satyaja. So it's good to have you. I think I got all the leaders here and we've got some new folks here. So I want to welcome all the new people. This is a great opportunity, you guys. So please tell your friends. It's one of, we have a lot of clubs in our department, but this is one of the few learning groups that we have. And so it kind of goes above and beyond your classes. And so it's just a really great opportunity. So please spread the word. We want to try and get more people involved and included in the speaker series and learning Bluebeam. Okay. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but we're really glad to have all of you. So those of you that don't know me, I am the faculty advisor for the Bluebeam user group. And so Cary and I go back a long ways. I think we've been doing this now for about 6 years. And so we've seen a lot of students come through here. And I will say that probably the students that come through here are probably some of our strongest students in the program. Just in terms of academically, service, all those things. And so I would encourage you, to be a part of the group. We've seen some really, really strong students graduate and have really great opportunities as a result of this group and just knowing Bluebeam. And so I want to encourage you. But I have a little PowerPoint here. And so what I'm going to do is share some of that. Sophie Max from Bluebeam usually comes, but she couldn't make it tonight. And so I told her that I would kind of fill in for her. And then about midway through, we'll have a little demo from Matt, okay, how to navigate Bluebeam, just some of the basics he'll touch on. And then he'll show us a little our dashboard that we have that's on the AS and CM Canvas page, as well as the frequently asked questions so that you can get your questions answered. We've got a lot of resources for you. And then Cary's going to follow us up here, towards the end here and talk a little bit about what QUIRING is doing, what opportunities are there, and a little bit about what's going on their job sites there at QUIRING. And so that's kind of the plan for tonight. So let me share screen, and I want you guys to just let me know if you can see the PowerPoint here. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share this. Whoops. It might help if I start at the top. Okay, so let me try it again. Okay, so this is our 2024 spring semester kickoff meeting. So welcome everybody. I went over a couple things here. We're gonna have, like I said, the navigation, our guest speaker, and then some Q&A, and then any closing announcements that we might have here. So this is a little kind of like org chart here of our bug champions. So our seniors here up at the top, okay? And we've got bug CITs. So those are bug champions in training. And so we've got a number of our new leaders that are, coming up, and the seniors are passing the baton to. And so you're going to see their faces more this spring semester, as well as in academic year 2024 and 2025. And then we've got our industry partners, Cary and RJ. Okay, so that's a little bit about how things go here at the Bug User Group. For those of you that don't know, our Fresno State Student Bug is really a group of students of various disciplines. We have master students in here. Sometimes we get civil engineering students, we get CM students, architecture students, etc., from various backgrounds to share knowledge and learn from one another. That's what a user group is. It's not a club. It's to share knowledge. And so the group serves as a platform for knowledge sharing, collaboration, learning, and connecting, and then empowering peers to be future leaders. And I think that's really important in our bug user group, because like I said, we've had just some really amazing leaders come out of this group, and that have graduated or that are graduating here this semester. And so we want to continue that legacy. This semester, our theme is Techscape-Mapping the Future of Technology on Construction Projects. So we chose this topic collaboratively as leaders to really start focusing in on kind of the wave of the future. There's going to be a lot of changes here in the next 5 years. And so one of the things that we want to do as a department is create a tech hub for a variety of software and, you know, AI, things like that, for students to get familiar with and to help them support their classes and any other competition teams, etc. And so this is kind of like a the focus is on Bluebeam, but we're also looking at projects and how, like, Cary is using a variety of different technology on his construction project. And so we want to see like what's out there. And so that's what our theme is about. So you're going to see a variety of software throughout the semester being talked about, and that will start tonight. Okay, so that's our theme for 2024. Just a little bit about Bluebeam's mission. Bluebeam's mission is to empower people to advance the way our world is built. Okay, and so Bluebeam gets used, you'll see here, by a variety of contractors, program managers, construction managers. And so really it's kind of like a cutting edge do all software. You know, it does a variety of different things, or connects and collaborates with a variety of other software. And so it really creates a communication hub on a project. Basically for the industry, we see it used in a variety of ways. These are some of the ways that we'll see it. I know those of you that are in my 170 class, we're going to be doing some estimating. So you're going to be doing some quantity takeoffs here soon. Cary tonight is, I think, going to be talking about some collaborative reviews and how, you know, teams use Bluebeam and other software, you know, to get jobs done, you know, out on the project site. It's also used quite a bit for drawing management. And so some of you that have had my class, we often will upload our plans and specs to Bluebeam and actually work in Bluebeam and, you know, collaborate that way in teams. And so you'll see that a lot. Document management, okay, and then field issues, okay. These aren't the only things, but these are a lot of the tools that are used in Bluebeam. Sophie usually talks about this, but Bluebeam is all over the world, okay. There's some statistics here. One of the things that is, I think, really important to focus in on here is there's 36 Bluebeam user groups throughout the world. That may have increased since the last time I talked to her, but we are a university group, and we're one of the only university groups across the globe. And so that's what's really unique about our group. Most of the user groups are professional groups, like RJ is a part of the OC group, Orange County, there's a San Francisco, and I think an LA bug. But they're all over the world, and most of them are professional groups. Okay, so just a little bit on that. But you can see here that, you know, this is a global technology software platform. And so I think, you know, whether, you know, you're here in the US or some of our graduate students are from other countries, you're going to be able to take that knowledge and take it out and use that across the globe. And so that's a really important thing about Bluebeam. Here's some of the companies that use Bluebeam quite a lot, and so you'll recognize some names there. I know this one in the middle, Hensel Phelps. I know I'm advisor of the commercial team, and so we use Bluebeam all the time. We used it on our competition problem. And so Hensel Phelps uses it a lot, as well as some of these other companies. And these aren't the only companies that use it, but there's some of the main ones that do. Okay, so you'll probably recognize some of those names if you've interviewed or had any of the internship talks, presentations on campus, and you've attended any of those. Bluebeam does have an academic program. So some of you that are new in here probably are using or will be using Bluebeam in 116 or 110 or 170. And so, whoops, sorry. So you'll notice that in those classes, I know in my classes, I always announce there's free licenses for Bluebeam Review, for students, educators, and computer labs. So if you've not gotten a license, make sure that you get one, because they come to us for free. And so you can start playing around with it and getting to know the software more, so that when you use it in classes, in your upper division classes, like my classes, you'll, have a jump start. Okay. Bluebeam also offers, if you go to www.bluebeam.com, and maybe Luis, if you could type that into the chat, there's access to free training videos, online webinars, and then we also have free access to Bluebeam University. And so bluebeam.com has some great tools to get you to know some of the basics, of Bluebeam. And so you could spend hours on that learning and teach yourself some of the things and practice with that. If you have any questions, you can write to academic@bluebeam.com about any of these things. So feel free to do that. So now, whoops, sorry, my computer is like sensitive. So now I want to segue into a little bit about what our Bluebeam user group does for the department. Okay. And one of the things that we do is we are kind of the IT for Bluebeam. And so if you need help, or if you have specific questions or anything, we as leaders provide that and can help you with that. We can help mentor you. If we're in the lounge, if any of the student leaders are in the lounge, you can always pull them aside and say, hey, I don't understand something or about Bluebeam, and they'd be happy to help you. Okay, so if you see any of the faces in the meeting here and you need some help, you can always reach out to them. But on this note, I'd like to talk or segue a little bit to Matt, and maybe he can do a quick little navigation, kind of the basics of Bluebeam, and go over our dashboard. So one of the things you can do with Bluebeam is set up a dashboard for housing documents. So a lot of companies will set up these dashboards for their projects. So for example, like say QUIRING, they might set up a dashboard for their new student housing project, and they can have hyperlinks of these little symbols to hyperlink to their schedule or to their RFIs or to their submittals, so the dashboard is like a go-to link to find all these things and collaborate and do document management and stuff. And so I'm going to segue over to Matt. And so let me go ahead and stop sharing here, Matt. And maybe you could open up Bluebeam and maybe do a little navigation. If anybody has any questions, you can ask him some questions too.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at our dashboard here, you guys can all go into our this is the Fresno State construction management Canvas page, and you could go in here and then go to announcements and search dashboard. Should come up right here. And so that's kind of how you can get to it. And we have a lot of good information in here that the bug leaders have put together. We have all of our archived speaker meetings, so all of our recordings go into our YouTube channel, and you could check them out. They don't get the most views, but they're there, so that's what counts. Looking at our bug key contacts, you could open that up, and how it's kind of set up is it'll take you to a file that you can view. And so we got a few of us on here. We got Manny on here. We got Nanad, Christy. Always feel free to reach out for bug questions or Bluebeam questions. And then something that we've kind of done also is come up with a frequently asked question page. And so we have a lot of good information in there related to the basics of Bluebeam. We kind of have it broken out into two sections. This one's general. And it has a lot of just basic questions about the program. Where do I get it? Is my computer good enough for it? Where to contact Bluebeam, information about joining Bug, all of that stuff. And then we do have the portal option, but we could all use it on our PCs, which is great. The better way to do it. And then we also have the more technical questions too. And this is kind of a lot of things related to when you're just getting into Bluebeam. If you kind of take some time, this document should walk you through it pretty well. So we got a lot of good information in here about calibrating scales, the different portfolios or settings you can do for how your Bluebeam is set up, some estimating tools, overlays, legends, flagging drawings, flattening and locking, and just a bunch of the different tools that Bluebeam has. And I could kind of start touching on some of those. Yeah, but anyway, that's our dashboard. And you can find it on the Canvas page for the CM department. Just search dashboard and it'll come up. So that's the best way that I usually use to find it when I need it. Does anybody have any questions in regards to that? Or should we start looking at some Bluebeam stuff?
I'm curious, did anybody know that we had the dashboard there on the CM and AS page? Raise your hand if you knew about it, besides Matt.
I think the
So no
consensus
one.
is no one did. And then we also have a question, Jenna. How do grad students gain access to that? I don't have that course/group.
Oh, interesting. It Prem and Satasia and Hemant, do you guys have access to it?
No. We also don't have any access to it.
No, ma'am.
Interesting.
We
So
have this the MSCM group, but we don't have the CMAS group because
okay.
we're in the
We have a
masters.
MSc group
So
only.
I
Oh,
have
yeah.
access to CMAS as well.
you have it, Avantika?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Wei know. And
I asked Robin to add me in that course
okay.
because my MSCM wasn't working.
Yeah, because you're missing out. That is like the most awesomest.
Yes, she put so many information in that.
Yeah, so I will send them an email and maybe you can drop by the office there, but maybe they can just add all of the graduate students. I'll try and get that set up because these things I don't know, but some of you that are undergraduate students, obviously you didn't know either, and maybe even some of our leaders. But we're going to be working on getting kind of like a tech hub page for that CMAS shell that not only will have Bluebeam, but also Oracle Primavera Cloud and some other things on there too. And so really important that you guys get on there. David,
Matt.
go ahead, RJ.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Matt. I know that the links to the YouTube channel is on the dashboard, but is the channel itself private just for Fresno State students, or is that if somebody searches for those videos, can they find it?
Luis, you want to comment on that? It looks like you knew.
From my understanding, they're not privated, but I will double check right now and I'll let you know in like a minute, real quick. Hold on.
Any other, David, did you have a question or I think you don't have access?
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying I didn't have access. I didn't know about any of that stuff.
Yeah, see, this is why you got to come to the Bug User Group meetings. And I would say Matt did a very good demo here. So I think that's really important. But yeah, so just search on dashboard and it should come up. Okay. Matt, do you want to share Bluebeam just for maybe about 5 minutes here? And just
I just verified it is not private. It is I will put our what we're called on there.
You mean on the chat? So you can get the link?
Yeah, in the chat. I keep talking in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, so
Thanks.
any other questions, you guys? Because these are all great questions, and we want you to be able to use this dashboard because you can actually print out those frequently asked questions and just keep it, as like a resource when you're doing your Bluebeam, and print it out so that you have it. So it's a wonderful resource. Okay, so Matt's gonna do just a little demo, about 5 minutes here on just kind of where to find things on Bluebeam in case some of you have never used this before. So we're just gonna go over some basic stuff. And Luis put the Fresno State bug link in on YouTube there. You want to go?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it's kind of a tall order to get a 5 minute
I know,
Bluebeam
5 minute.
lesson here, but kind of similar to a search engine or something. All the documents you have open will be up here. You could kind of open up the different tabs and stuff, and that's where all those are. How you could kind of maneuver through the pages are these arrows down here. You can click and move from page to page. Maybe you click on a detail or something and it takes it to another page. Then you could click the circle with the triangle here and that'll take you back to your previous page, which is kind of an important one that I learned recently. In regards to how the page kind of looks, you could set it up for scrolling. And that way all the pages are going to be together. And you could scroll up like that. I usually have mine set on the one full page, and that allows you to kind of zoom in and look at stuff easily, which you can do on the scrolling pages. You just have to hold shift and it will go in. But I just like the neatness of having one page open at a time. It doesn't overwhelm me. Over here, I kind of have, and this is all customizable, but I have my thumbnail, and that has all the different pages on it. I have my file bin, which I could go and look at all the files I have opened recently. If I want to open some new files, I could go to File and then Open, and that'll bring me to my downloads, and I could click around here and find stuff on my computer that I want to open. Also in here, I have my save and my save as, which is an important tool. Always save your stuff so you don't lose any of your progress. That's kind of where to find that. Also under file, you have email file, which this is a good one if you have your email hooked up to your computer as the default. And so that's nice too for sharing files quickly. Looking at edit, you have undo and redo, which are some important ones, but those are just control Z and control Y on your keyboard, like normal. This is probably one of my favorite tools on Bluebeam is Snapshot. It's also just the G key if you were to hit it on your keyboard as a default. And so what you can do is copy stuff like that and move it, duplicate it. And you can mess with the settings too, and I won't get too far into that. Also, moving on to view, there's some really good tools here. One of the ones I like to do is split vertical. Oh, I don't have it open. Let me do that. So if I split vertical, I could have both of them, two windows open for a set of documents. And I can move them both around. And kind of something that's also cool about when you have two of them open is you can synchronize the pages. And so if this was like maybe the finish schedule or finish plan or something, and this was an architectural plan, I could zoom in and it would trace with this one. When you're doing like submittal reviews or something, maybe you're going through a pair of shop drawings, it's a pretty useful tool. Also looking at document, you can add headers and footers, a lot of good stuff in here for your page setup. Flattening and unflattening, which is kind of a way to secure your document and make it so other people can't edit it. Also have security options, and then all sorts of other page extraction and tools there to use as well. I don't want to get too detailed. I don't really know what batch does. I don't use that one. Tools is also a good one. I'm sure Cary will get into some of these, but you got your text box. A lot of these have keyboard commands too. So text box is a good one. You can write stuff. There is the typewriter, which I believe is W. And so that way you could just click stuff and start writing. Looking at some more of them. Call out's a good one. That's the Q key. I could call out documents with this or drawings, notes, things like that. And then one other kind of cool thing about this is I could set my defaults so I always get this yellow clouded with blue writing and lines. And I set that as my defaults just because that way when people are looking at my markups or on my submittal or something, they know that's me because this is my markup. I invented this markup, so that's mine. And let's see here. If you go to, you select it, and then you go down here, you can set it as a default. That's kind of how I did that. Kind of continuing to look around in your measure drop down. A lot of good stuff in here for length, poly lengths, areas, perimeter. If you want to get into like circles, angles, volume, all that kind of different stuff. Sketch to scale. This is actually a cool one that I started using recently.
Hey,
It's,
Matt,
go ahead,
go
Christy.
go back to the tools. You missed the count one because I think that's like an important one too. Go down to the measure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that count. So it can count up, doors and windows and things like that, especially in 170, you're going to be doing some simpler estimating takeoffs in your projects, area, volume, counting, those kinds of things.
Yeah, and so that kind of brings up some good points. Is for your subject, count's a good way to illustrate it, but I could just say like doors. And then for my label, I can say, we'll just say cherry heartwood doors. And that way, when I mark, I know those are my cherry heartwood doors. I'm not getting into it too much, but just because it's kind of a cool tool of Bluebeam. Maybe I could go back and do another count. I could maybe change what I want my thing to look like. And then if I put doors here in the subject, and now maybe we want, I don't know, we'll just say like stainless doors, maybe stainless French doors. I could put triangles. And then Bluebeam kind of keeps track of everything too in what they call the the markups list. And that's this one right here. And so, as you can see, it's not the most organized. But if I search doors, it didn't like that. Hold on. Ooh, it really didn't like that. If I go back to that page, and let's just say I grab one of those. I know that it's in the doors subject and its account. It's a yellow or red triangle. These are the stainless French doors. I could grab that. Here's my Heartwood doors. That's kind of a good way to kind of do some QTOs for some of the items that you'd have to count a lot.
Go back there,
At the
Matt, to that markups list again. One of the things that you'll have to do, like in 170, is actually export out some of your markups. And so I call it like the jack in a box. You see next to the filter list there, Matt, it's like a little square with an arrow up key. You can actually print out your markups in PDF format, or actually put them into an Excel spreadsheet and have all of your takeoffs in an Excel spreadsheet by just clicking on the XML summary or that PDF summary as well. So those are some things that you'll have to do. I know in my classes.
RJ, did you have something too? Or was that someone else?
Oh, that was me. I was just wondering, so when you said you grab the markup, you just click that, correct? Or
Yeah,
like the triangle?
there's a way to drop it down. Like if you hide it, I think it's this button here. Let's see, what did that do? It moved it in here. Okay, so that moved it inside of the, okay, that's what that does. But yeah, there is a way that I think if you click that, it'll bring it all the way down. Yeah. And so then you can just bring it up. Yeah. But it's down there. You just
Oh,
gotta
no, I
kind
was
of do
talking
it.
about when you were clicking the counting or the doors and stuff. So in order to find that on the markups list, did you just click that?
I just clicked it here and then it brought me to it.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. How this is kind of a bad file because it's got all of these random AutoCAD markings in it where they like put boxes over stuff. So that's kind of why this is so overfilled with a bunch of just random stuff. But yeah. Kind of continuing to keep going on stuff. I don't want to go too much longer, but signature, like I could sign all my documents. I think that's my password. Let's see. Anyway, then yeah, usually I can sign it. And it gives me the option to sign. So that's something I use it for. I use it on my taxes and stuff. So don't tell Sophie, but I use it outside of class, yes. Yeah, that's a lot of the big stuff. In the help menu, they have a lot of good stuff. They have these keyboard shortcuts. It's a good place to kind of look and spend some time if you're looking for something to memorize. Don't need to know all of them. I probably know like 20 of them or so, and they get me by. So,
But you could always print that out.
for sure. Another cool thing is you can pin documents. So like I have some important stuff here pinned. Like I have our Oracle dashboard pinned, and I have some Reno templates pinned. Don't tell Rogelio, Adam, but yeah, that's where they are. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'd be happy to hand things over to Cary though.
Any questions, you guys? So just a segue here in a second to Cary, but maybe Matt, what are some, or and even some of the other bug leaders could suggest, especially the seniors. As students, what do you recommend? I know one of the things that I would say is that, don't be afraid of Bluebeam. You can upload anything into here. You can start reading specs in here, plans in here, or using it in ways to do your homework in here, to start just getting used to using Bluebeam, okay, and importing and using it and moving things around. But what are some other quick tips that you guys would recommend for new users?
Are you just asking the whole group or anyone in particular?
Maybe
or-
some of the student leaders, the senior leaders, like Luis and Matt and Tomas and Karndeep, those of you that have used it more.
Just going in and messing with it has been a huge difference maker for me on there. Prior to that, I would use Adobe every now and then,
Mhm.
and the difference between using that and using Bluebeam on there is huge. Just like the one that Matt was using earlier, the typewriter one, I use that for multiple assignments all the time on there, just because it's a lot easier.
Yeah, so I mean, you're doing your homework on it, various things. Any other tips, you guys?
I'd say don't be intimidated. I mean, it's new, so that kind of makes things seem challenging, but it's really not that hard. I used to be really bad at technology, and look at me now. So I could get by for sure with the best of them, I think. So it's made my schoolwork a lot easier, that's for sure.
I'm sure Christy can agree to this, but you will always be presented with new technology you have to learn and use throughout all of your career. So you have to adapt. So
And some, I mean, Cary and RJ and I, we all know different things, some things better than others, and so, grab a couple software programs like this and get in there and just start learning stuff, come to our meetings, look at some videos and just start working with it. Luis and Tomas and Karndeep, you guys have any suggestions?
Well, I'm sure Cary's gonna go over scaling. I use it a lot or often in my internships, as well as like how Matt changed his like the titles of things that were easier to well, to him right now when he tried it, it was like a lot of different he said he didn't like it, but I only had like pretty good experience with mine when I do it. And then a thing that also worked for me was Alt Z. So if you make a text box too big, when you click out of it and you think you're not in the text box anymore, and you accidentally click it and move it. But Alt Z pretty much shrinks the text box to the size of the lettering.
Awesome, Luis.
I know at times when we have to download PDF papers, I like to export them and sometimes make them into docs or anything I could type on them. So that's a good thing about Bluebeam I could use.
Great, Tomas. Anybody else before we switch over to Cary? Okay. So just get in there and start working with it, like roll up your sleeves and try it, because I think you'll find that, I mean, you're not going to learn everything about Bluebeam. It's one of those programs that's kind of like a career builder. And so start out small, kind of like Matt said, and pretty soon you're going to know a ton and, be able to lead trainings and join some of the competition teams and do well. So I encourage you guys to do that. So getting back to our presentation here. So let me just share this. So next we're going to oops, we're gonna segue over to Cary. And so Those of you that haven't met Cary, Cary is just awesome. He's been with us for 6 years, since the start of our Bluebeam user group. And so he's going to talk a little bit tonight about his experience at QUIRING, so you can ask him about the company, you know, maybe where folks start out, you know, some of those what we call, you know, our internship or our company presentation stuff, maybe just a little bit of it. But most of what he's going to be talking about is the City of Fresno Animal Center project, how he uses Bluebeam for pre-con and constructability. And PlanGrid is another program that he utilizes for construction field tools, RFIs, submittals, and coordination. And so let's turn it over to Cary. And Cary, feel free to start wherever you feel comfortable.
I'll start at the end and just finish there. How about that?
Yeah.
Let me bring up my screen here real quick. All right. All right. Can everybody see that? I'm hoping.
Yes. Now. Uh-huh. Maybe you
Sounds
could
like
make it a little bit bigger.
it's huge on my screen, so is it small on your screen?
Yeah, it's okay. I can see it. It's just my old eyes.
Okay. Sorry, I work with like a 37-inch monitor in front of me, so it looks huge to me. So,
yeah, totally fine.
You think your eyesight's going. Okay, so anyways, yeah, so thanks, Christy. And first off, I want to apologize. The office space that I'm in right now on this project site is all hard surfaces, so there might be a bit of an echo. It's just something I have to deal with everything. So, but anyways, yeah, my name is Cary Reents. I'm a senior project manager with QUIRING General. I've been there for over about 8 to 9 years now. Been in industry for at least 13, 15 years, predominantly on the construction, general contracting side, never on the subcontractor side. And seeing as our topic tonight was Techscapes, I kind of figured I would give everybody a little bit of an example of some things we do in Bluebeam in terms of mostly right now collaboration, and give you an example of what we're going through for like document review and constructability reviews that we end up sending off to architects and design teams, specifically through Studio. And then a couple examples of what, you know, things that I do as a field guy. I'm not an office guy per se. I spend 98% of my time out in the field running jobs or running multiple jobs in different times, different places. So I use Bluebeam probably a lot differently than an estimator would, because I'm not really spending a lot of time doing takeoffs, as I am more of document markup, control, you know, just general markups all around. So my skills are not extreme, but they're adequate enough for what I need to do. So, so yeah, I figured I'd throw a couple examples out there, and then kind of transition into what we use as a PlanGrid and Autodesk Build. We're actually transitioning from PlanGrid to Autodesk Build as a company right now, but kind of showing everyone how some of these documents that we develop in Bluebeam, how we import and export them or import them into PlanGrid, and then how we utilize them in that software in the field via computer and via tablet, as well as other functionalities. Just kind of a quick overview on how RFIs are built through that. How actually there's tools that you can take a 3,000-page spec book and develop a submittal register like that out of those softwares. It'll automatically create it for you, as well as markups, as built, and all that kind of stuff. And then maybe some high-level other softwares that we have used, that we kind of use every once in a while in the past, specifically one that we actually just got rid of maybe a year or two ago that we use with drones. I'm one of now 3 people in our whole company that's licensed to fly drones commercially. So there were some cool programs that we use for that, for as-builts, live as-builts using drone photos and GPS, as well as a few other things. So anyways, that's just kind of a quick little intro and rundown what I'm going to talk about today. Now, Christy, now that I know that we're public on YouTube for the videos, do you mind pausing it while I go over some of this Fresno State stuff? I'm not going to focus on one job. I'm going to focus on multiples tonight. So
Sure.
I'll start with that, and then we'll switch. Is that cool?
Okay. I'm pausing it right now. It's on.
Perfect. Oh, I better sneak out of here. Ooh. All right. Anyways, so the next item I was going to go through is kind of showing what we do with some of these documents that we get. So let's assume we have 100% CD drawing, we're permitted. Now what do we do with that document? So for querying, we used a program called PlanGrid, which, move this bar over a little bit, allows us to be our document control collaboration with all of our subcontractors, as well as our design team officials as well too. So the example I'm going to show is for a behavioral health project that we have going on right now on the tail end of it. Oh, and I got logged out. This job is a little bit different. Typically, as a company, we would use PlanGrid 100% of the time. But on this particular job, since it's with the county, we are using their Procore account as our main hub for document control for collaboration with our design and submittals and RFIs. And then once we finalize that, we are exporting those documents into PlanGrid to use as our record and our collaboration with the trades that don't want to use Procore. So it's kind of we're kind of doubling up a little bit, but it's pretty helpful. A lot of our trades are Procore can be a little cumbersome at times, whereas PlanGrid can be a lot simpler in various areas. But essentially, we would take a completed set of drawings and we would upload them into this program that we can start labeling it by sheets and by discipline and tags. So you can see on my screen here, you're still seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It has a complete set and of the whole entire drawing. So you can see it's by division here. These are generals, civil drawings, landscaping drawings, architecturals, X, Y, Z. And this is where we do all of our RFIs, submittals, punch lists, daily reports, any kind of logs, markups, whatever, as all of these tasks right here. So for example, on this plan, for the most part, I will go to an overall floor plan. And you'll see there's going to be tons of markups on it here once it loads. So this allows us, you can see all of these camera photos. These are all photos within a particular location, which I can filter and I can turn off all the camera markups. So boom, now it doesn't look as busy. So we can look up any kind of markup that we want, but in this drawing, we can kind of see that we have our notes here where we needed to move a wall to even out the transitions. We had to move this wall. We have an RFI that links to all of the elements on this drawing. This one in particular right here. So RFI 103 was a 1 hour fire barrier clarification that we had at this one alcove. I can click on this and click on the actual link, and it will take me exactly to that RFI and what it's about, what the answer was, what the original submission, all correspondence, what area it impacts, X, Y, Z. So on this drawing, we had a discrepancy between our architectural drawings and our rating drawings, whereas the rating drawing superseded our architecturals in this instance. So these are indeed a 1 hour rated wall condition and not a non-rated wall condition. So we can look back and see what changed in that location. And this is what we call an as-built drawing. So this lives throughout the course of construction, in which all of our subs and our team can get in and look at all of these sheets and see every RFI that impacted every area. So if the building inspector comes in to do inspection and says, why is this wrong? Why is this different from your plan? Oh, here's the RFI right here in our on our iPads, and we can show them exactly what that document was. Now, most of our documents, so in that case, an RFI, And this one, we didn't do them through this platform. We did them through Procore. That's why it says a little bit of mixing. But we would create an RFI in this. It's going to make me do it right now. And we would write the question, take photos. We can do it all from our iPad and send it straight to our architect right in the field on the spot to get an answer. And they could respond within the system, and we can link it to our drawings and distribute it to all of our subcontractors. What else do I do? All right, I'm gonna try and change up here. I want to show you guys something on the iPad. So this is why the Techscape, the technology in this industry is constantly changing. What's going on here? There we go. We have the ability to do this all from these now, all of this work.
And unfortunately, every company uses something different too.
So, okay, looks like it's working. Okay. Everyone can see my iPad?
Yes.
Perfect. It's a little slow. So there we go. So the cool thing that I wanted to show you guys on this is we take a lot of construction photos all throughout the life of the job. So you saw all those cameras, right? These are the best document. You know how people say a photo's worth 1,000 words? This is the absolute proof in the pudding. And we take this actually a step further. As a company, we came up with this rule that we have to do something called close-up photos, in which I have a couple of us have 360 cameras, which allows us to take 360-degree photographs. And we can upload them straight into PlanGrid, and allows us to look at all the walls in a given spot and pan and see the whole room in 360 degrees. So if I need to figure out where my backing is, what kind of plumbing's in the wall, what our electrical looks like, what directions. So all this stuff gets hidden behind walls at some point in construction, right? So this gives me a record to be able to go back and look at everything in this space as it was before it gets closed up. So it becomes a wonderful, wonderful technique of being able to prove to our subs, anyone else, if something was damaged, if something is cut during that line. You'll be amazed at how many electrical boxes get buried during drywall, and the guys say they were never there. And you look up the photo and you go, oh, there it is right there on the wall, so let's cut it up, and it's probably at this height, and we can find things a lot faster. As well as giving us the ability to do record of like finished drawings or finished shots. So this is what the actual room looks like now as of today, before they move furniture in. So if there's dings on the walls, if there's anything like that, this is a break room for the staff in this example. But we can see what all the finished product looks like. I don't know of every program that does that, but with PlanGrid, that is one of the best tools that this program can do, is being able to import those 360 photos.
That's really awesome, Cary.
And we can share these with our clients, in our design team, because if they have a question on a space, we can show them exactly where things are at and everything. So we did use like I say, projects are always changing. I was hoping I could find, and we don't have it anymore. There's a program called Open Space that we used, where essentially we had a 360 camera mounted to a hard hat, and you just walk the same path at relatively the same speed, and it just constantly takes pictures the entire time and allows you to basically do a walkthrough. Like if you were on Google Maps and you drop the little guy on the street and you can just walk down the street, it allows you to do that on the inside of an entire building, all in high definition. So that was really big during COVID. We started using that on some of our jobs to allow our design teams to do inspections and constructability and things like that. So yeah, pretty cool. So, all right. That's all I wanted to show on the iPad. So, but yeah, from here, we can do the exact same thing. We can create, what we're doing right now is we're in punch list phase right now on this job. So we're able to, since we have all of our contractors assigned to this project, we can start creating a punch list. So all of these are punch list items. And I'm trying to change my filter. Sorry, I have to change the little screen person. So let's hide all of the status of the ones. So you can see there's a lot of punch lists, but some have lines through them. We can hide anything that is closed. So that would actually, I'm sorry, anything that's open. So we just want to show what's open. So like right now I got door guys that have things that need to be done. We can add in what type of issue it is, where, what location it is, what's the issue, what the, and missing the install, he hasn't installed the surface closer. We can also do photos, and you can mark up the photos that allow you to like circle what's broken on that particular issue. And as we go through with our team, people say they finish things, we're 100% done. Let's go back and take a look at it, and we can start crossing off their punch list items. This is a huge tool for us too, because it allows us to mark things up that are incomplete and send them off to, the foreman might say, yeah, I'm done with everything. And then we walk it and we find 20 errors. And we send it to their PM and say, hey, we're not going to pay you until you finish these things. These are all the things that are damaged. These are just some of the resources that we have. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
And Cary, like these punch list items, say you've got punch lists for a floor or building, does it allow you to just print it out like in Excel
Yes.
format or?
Yeah, so what I can do, all right, I'm gonna stop sharing here somehow. Yeah, okay.
Like it doesn't make like a checklist for you.
It does. So
It does, wow.
I've learned ways to manipulate the system. So not every sub will use PlanGrid or anything like it full time. So what I can do is I can create dummy accounts or dummy emails where I can assign it to that particular contractor on a dummy email. So my flooring company is named BT Mancini. So I might make a fake email called btmancini@kern.com. So that way I can assign it to that particular trade, and I can export a report that's specifically to them as long as it's assigned to them.
Nice.
So so now we're in that what's called a workspace, which is specifically we set up just for sorry, I'm trying to find my it's our task punch lists. And we do this with our architects and owners and everything too. We'll walk with iPads and we will literally create punch list items on the iPad and assign it to that trade. So you can see I have BT Mancini right here. So I can filter by assigned to BT Mancini. And they'll show me everything that's open for them. And I
I
can.
don't know if you're sharing your screen, but I can't see it.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one part you're not sharing.
Not showing? Oh, it's not showing up on my screen? The export report?
There it goes.
Now it goes? Okay, sorry. My bad. So what I did was I went into our tasks and I filtered by that particular trade. So that tells me everything that's assigned to that particular trade. I can export it and I can do it by how many photos, everything related to it. We'll just begin each new task on a new page. And it takes a minute or so usually to generate it, but I might be able to do it quicker. Usually it emails it to us. Just doing the same thing. Okay. Depending on how many items there are assigned to that trade. Sorry, it's taking a second.
Well, this is generating. I just got to tell you guys that are coming out into the industry, this is not the way it used to be. I was going to say, I feel really old because, whether it's doing as-built drawings, I remember you might even be too young, Cary, but this ought to tell you how old I am. I remember when we were doing as-built drawings and, you know, you take the RFI and you cut out the answer and you paste it on the drawings and tape it to
You
the
know, there's a
drawing.
simpler way to do that, just so you know. But here you go. This is what the report looks like. So you got to see, these are the numbers
that's
that, you know, they
awesome.
got made. But every single report will tell you what room it is in, sheets, where it's located. You know, it'll give you snapshots. Fabian didn't actually write the room number. He just happened to do that. So, but you can print these reports and you can hand them to the foreman or the guy out here in the field and say, go fix all of these items, you know?
Yeah.
So this is how flooring can be kind of weird. This is exactly the same color of baseboard in a room off the same exact roll, but it does not look like the same color in the photo, right? Or in person. So as soon as the lights turn on, we'll be able to tell if we have an issue, but that is literally off the same roll. It does not look like it is, but it really is. So super weird. But yeah, I still, just so you know, Christy, I still make all of my engineers post to the hard set of plans on the table.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
But I don't make them cut and paste the RFI. I just make them cloud it and arrow it, and we have a binder that you can pull the RFI from. I mean,
Oh, okay.
that's
You
what I mean.
just
There's an
note
easier
the
way to do it.
RFI.
Absolutely. That's the only way you learn. That's how you learn the drawings. So
Yeah.
is by, you know, having to comment on them. So
Well, and I remember, I mean, I've been on a lot of big jobs and oh my gosh, the punch list, like pages and pages of, you know, typed up punch list or even handwritten punch lists. And
yes,
there no
this
picture.
is way better. It takes a little more legwork to set it up, but once you're in,
Yeah, super
way better.
nice.
You get 3 guys to follow with your design team and you go. And just so everyone knows, you're required to keep as-built of your construction as you're going through construction. So those that stay on top of it through the life of construction have a much better time going through and a lot less issues and misses than those trying to catch up 50 RFIs a month or something like that. Because that's 30 days of things that don't get posted. So we try to keep ours up to date every day.
And Cary, do your field engineers do that or all you guys?
I look at it as who is handling RFIs. Like, so whoever is in charge of writing and submitting the RFI takes through the whole process. So
I see.
if I am writing the RFI and it's very something specific, I will most likely write it, close it, post it. 90% of the time, it's going to be my field engineer or project engineer that's going to write it, because that's how they learn to understand the drawings and make them close out the full circle. Yes. Unless I'm in a bad mood, then I tell him he has to take care of it. So anyways, and then there is a module here. And like I said, we didn't do it on this project because we didn't use PlanGrid. We had to use Procore. But you can take a 1,000-page spec manual and you can upload it into the submittal module, and it will automatically find anything that's related to a submittal that can be extracted from that and create a submittal register for you to track and assign to your subcontractors in the platform. And that saves countless hours of developing a submittal register. So for those of you that are coming out into the industry, you will at some point probably have to create a submittal register, and that can take a long time, especially when your spec books are, 3 inches thick. So this saves tons of hours. You still have to audit it because it does make it some errors, but as long as it's in a relatively good format from your architect, it will create it for you, which is wonderful. Any
And my
questions?
170 student just talked about this today, Cary, or submittal registers and the importance of doing and tracking submittals. So
there is in this too, and similar to Bluebeam is, I don't think I've ran the module on it. You can search by keyword. So like, if I want to look up any sheet that has the word door on it, I can find terminology as well. So
Or like, what if you coded it by a change order, like change order number 1?
Yeah, we could. We don't use cost in this program. Our our cost software is really project manager specific, and it's actually accounting software developed for construction management. So it really benefits our accountants more than it benefits us as the PMs. But it is a good program and it can do a lot. It's just, it can be a little bit tricky to maneuver. So we usually don't expose people to that till maybe like 2 or 3 years in, because it's a lot to digest.
Yeah.
But it does, it's a very, very powerful tool. The other thing that's really nice about this is these automatically hyperlink to all of these sheets. The system will pick up all the hyperlinking for you, which is fantastic. I know Bluebeam can, but sometimes you have to manually do it. But here on PlanGrid, it automatically does it for you. So if I go to this sheet, you see all these clouded. I can click on each one of these and see, jump straight to that sheet right away. So if I'm looking for detail 7A541, it'll take me right there. 7A541 right there. So yeah, very powerful tool.
And you can
and
also
then-
do hyperlinks in Bluebeam too.
Yes, you can. This one's nice because no matter what set you upload to it, it automatically establishes those hyperlinks for you, which is nice, whether they were developed by the architect or not. So
Cary,
yeah,
it's about 10 minutes till. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, the only other one I was going to kind of give everyone a little snapshot is a program that we use with our drones. It's called Drone Deploy. And essentially, Drone Deploy will link up to one of our drones if we fly it in a map. And it will survey our job site in live time right onto Google Earth and allow us to do 3D mapping images of that exact site, to the point where we can pan it and we can kind of see what the drawing looks like. I think it's losing a little bit of its definition now, an older photo. And kind of see how this thing actually looked in time. Be able to land around it. And then also it's a very accurate tool, so it's overlaying it, it automatically images it off GPS, and it can give you dimensioning as tight as you can do it. So you can find exactly, you know, if this block wall roughly from here to the face of that curb is almost exactly 8 feet. So it's within 100th of a foot, which is pretty miraculous no matter what direction. So it was a tool. We used it with designer coordination, their coordination, as well as builds. So that's it. Just a couple examples of what, you know, the technology that's evolving off of, you know, just simple things, you know, just taking from a Bluebeam document to how you can integrate it into a full workflow for all of your superintendents, PMs, PEs, anyone on a living job. So that's it. Any questions? We use like a dozen more programs, so I'm not gonna jump into anything else.
Oh no.
So that's
Hey,
it.
Cary, I had one about your pilot's license. How long about did that take for you?
I mean, I did not know how much you have to learn to do it. And I say that meaning I walked into it not knowing that I needed to know how to read maps that pilots use in planes and what directions you have to land airliners on. And like, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware that you would have to learn to fly a drone. There is classes you can take and online classes. We use one called Dart Drones, and they have an online class. It might be like 100, $200 or something like that. And they actually partner with the FAA, because that's who you get licensed through, on creating the tests to test people for their license. So there are questions, and they walk you through pretty much everything you need to know. I went to do it blind, and I'm really glad I did that, because it's a hard test. It really is. It's like it's a legit test. So, and you have to score like a 90% or higher in order to get a license. But after that course, and they give you access to like dozens of training tests or practice tests, I walked into it getting like a 98%. So I missed like one on the whole entire thing. So it just depends how much time you want to do it. I mean, I know one of our guys had to take 2 attempts to get it, but he got it. So yeah.
And
pretty cool.
what would you say is your like how often would you use it, like to fly the drone? I mean,
well, since I was like the only one that had a license for a long time, I just kept the drone with me all the time. So on this particular job that I'm on right now, I would fly it at least once a week, and I would do videos and photos. I'll show you. Bring all that up.
And Luis, my husband actually has a pilot's license as well for drones.
Mhm.
And he is a land surveyor, and a lot of the work that we do here, or that engineers do here in Cody, is 2 and 3 hours away. And so they'll actually fly those drones out there, like in the middle of Yellowstone or Tetons or the Absarokas or whatever, and take a look at things before they actually go out there. So they use it a lot. So it just depends, it's a little different vantage point, because it's more land surveying than say building, but he's the only one in his company that is licensed. And so he often has assignments that he does that are kind of unique, so I think it's worthwhile, if you're interested in it, to get a license.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, drone costs are definitely a lot better than they were before. But yeah, I fly this thing almost every single week while I'm out here, and it's a great progress tool to show a client that I found, because I can literally bring up a drone picture of the entire site, and I can walk them through everything that's happened in the last week or two visually, without just like a bunch of little snapshot photos everywhere, so I can cursor over it and say, okay, today we poured footing from grid line F over through G and stuff like that, so they loved it, because they could visually see what was happening in great detail, rather than just kind of being told about it. So yeah. But
So
on the
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, on the job before this, I couldn't fly it at all, because our job was so close to the Fresno airport that it would take me weeks to a month maybe to get a special authorization. It had a zero foot height limit, because of the Air Force or the National Guard or whatever that flies out of there, and they were flying all the time, so I literally never did it. So yeah, it just depends.
That's another skill, you guys. So Luis, if that's something that interests you, definitely look into it, because I think they're going to be used more and more. I was just going to say, the moral of the story tonight is be flexible, learn as much technology as you want. It'll be really interesting to see what other speakers come up with on their jobs, but I bet you we're going to find just a plethora of different things that are being used.
It really is. And I'd say, Luis, if I wouldn't necessarily get it right away, as I would say a lot of companies invest in their people and actually might pay to get for you to take the test and say, hey, we'll pay for the test if you're that passionate about it. I know we do it at QUIRING, like we won't necessarily pay for the class more or less, but we'll pay for the test, and we'll help you get the drone or something like that. We'll pay for the drone or whatever. So it just kind of depends on the scenario. So yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, some of these bigger programs like Oracle Primavera Cloud or Bluebeam or things like that, those are like career builders, AutoCAD, BIM, so if you can come out of the program, really kind of getting a deep dive like into Bluebeam, oh my gosh, it's one of those things that it's just going to set your career on fire along with all the other things that you're doing,
Yeah, and I mean, what you guys were looking at tonight, everything that we basically sort of use stems off of some form of Bluebeam, right? Because that is our main program, so I can't upload things into PlanGrid without having a good Bluebeam document or, those RFIs or, responses, XYZ. It goes on and on and on. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Cary. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but there was just like a plethora of just great information here and learning about new things. And at first I was like, I wasn't sure about this theme, but I think, Cary, you kind of set the tone. And so when I talk to other companies, I think just giving them the opportunity to talk about what they do on projects, what technology they use is really important for you guys to see. So I don't know, anybody want to add to that? Was it helpful?
Yeah, I really liked your overlay tips. I've definitely fought it before, trying to increase the size a little bit, trying to get the line up. So I like that for sure.
It's a trick. It's a little bit of an art at times. You have to find the right points and things like that, but it can be very helpful. I use it with overlaying of a lot of architects, I won't say a lot, some do not cloud their revisions when they give us new sets. So the overlay, as long as they don't move everything around, is a very powerful tool because you can see right away what changed from that last set, really quick. And if they don't cloud it, we don't capture it. And all of a sudden it gets lost, So I've used it on a lot of documents for a lot of people. It's helped a lot. So.
Any other quick comments? Because we're at time.
Perfect. And congratulations to any of the commercial team members in here as well on your victory over Cal Poly.
I know, I was going to say, we beat Cal Poly.
Not just our victory, huh?
They may have gotten more placings, but the one that we care about doesn't matter. We didn't challenge them in those other categories, so that's all I told them.
Right, yeah, so we can't say anything, but it's so
And I'm sorry I was not able to make the dinner. I planned on it, but I had to come down here because I forgot my superintendent was doing a superintendent meeting.
Manny says, who's Cal Poly?
They're a good school. All right. I'm from San Luis, but pride is pride. So
I wanted to tell you guys, I will definitely reach out to I always call him Wei. Anyway, Dr. Wu and Robin, and let them know that a lot of the graduate students want to get on the ASCM page so that you can get into our dashboard and stuff. So I will do that. I'll follow that up after this meeting so that you guys can get in that. But I just wanted to thank everybody here. Thanks for coming. A lot of our sessions are like this. And so hopefully we get some really great companies that are going to come and talk about their technology. So we hope you all come back and take some, deep dives here into technology. So thank you, all of you. And I hope all of you have a great evening. And Cary and I'll stick around here. Anybody else that wants to, if you have any questions. But on that note, thanks for coming. Have a great night. So I'll see you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Cary.
No problem.
Thank you, Cary.
Anytime.